Hello again, folks. The first thing I'd like to ask all of you is to please calm down and think. We've got a lot of good people out there working on this problem. Unfortunately, we also have a lot of intellectuals coming up with some of the stupidest ideas I've ever heard. We've heard about the possibility of using nukes as a last resort. I don't care if it's a last resort or not. Nukes? No. I understand they've used them in Russia 5 times. And I understand that 4 times out of those were successful. But we got to keep in mind, those weren't 5,000 feet under the sea, plus over 3,000 feet under the surface. They also didn't have all of the problems with the well and with the equipment that we've had in this situation. Completely separate. You also might want to consider that there's a frozen methane plate or layer that must be considered and contended with. A nuke? That would make things unimaginably worse. We don't want to use nukes. The other thing that I have a real problem with is the media incompetence. With all the up-to-date info that they have, with all the coverage of previous disasters, with all the input from highly educated contributors, why can't they see outside their 24-hour news cycle? They don't seem to remember the past, and they don't seem to be capable of looking towards tomorrow. They're not giving warnings to people that need them right now. We've got hurricane season started. We're waiting for the first storm. If we wait till the first storm to then try to get people out or to even give warnings of what is coming, it'll be too late for many. The media isn't doing their job. The media is not covering this like they should. There's so much more that they could be saying. There's a lot that we're hearing that they're missing. There's a lot we're seeing and that we've seen in the past that they're not talking about. This isn't some game. It's not a little situation that we're going to be able to just clean up in a couple of months. This isn't even going to stop flowing for many months. Even if we were to be able to stop the flow right this second, everything that's already gone into the Gulf is going to be there for at least a decade or 2. And that's at best. Exxon Valdez, they still have oil, a lot of oil, that hasn't been cleaned up. This is just not being handled correctly. Now, for those of us who would really like to come up with solutions, we can't. Nobody can come up with an effective solution until we have 2 simple things that we have the technology for and that are used all the time. Number 1, the most important thing of all, we have to have subsurface imaging. We also need seismology data. The combination of these 2 things will tell us pretty much for sure whether or not we can even take the risk to actually stop the flow of oil. If we can, with the data that should be recovered, then we can move forward. If we can't, then we need to move out. I'm not from the South. I don't live there. I don't live on the Atlantic. This oil isn't going to be coming into my neighborhood anytime soon. But the effects are going to hit us all. Not just in this country. There are going to be a lot of other countries affected as well. Some of the South American countries, Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, the countries just south of the Gulf of Mexico, they're going to get hammered, and hammered bad. They rely on the fishing industry. Sorry, that's not going to be there. We already know that. We're already dealing with people that have lost their businesses, people that are trying desperately to save what they can. To those people who are trying, my hat's off to you. You're doing the best you can. I don't want to see your efforts go for naught. Like I said, the first thing we need is subsea imaging, and second, seismology reports. The next thing we need is for the media to get their head out of their butts and start reporting on things the way they should, with all the information available to them. I understand that some think that the public can't handle the truth. Don't wait till it's too late and then say, oh, well, we didn't know that it was going to be this bad. Believe me, the media knows what's coming. The public doesn't, but the public needs to know. If we can stop the flow, if we have data that says the risks of letting it continue flowing would far outweigh the risks that we would be taking by actually capping it, there are a lot of good ideas. We need to really consider some of them. The other thing that BP needs to do right away is get more ships on the way. You can't recover more oil if you don't have containers to take that oil out of the Gulf. Having one ship there is just not cutting it. Having one ship at a time, I can understand that. But you at least need to have more ships on the way before you fill up one and then just let the rest of the oil continue flowing until you get another ship in there. Or you get that ship out, unloaded, and shipped all the way back. This is just insanity. I don't understand how any of these people can possibly sleep at night knowing that what we very well could be doing is watching the very beginning stages of the end of our planet and the end of humanity. This isn't some simple little game. This is quite possibly the biggest disaster we've seen in humanity's history. We're watching it unfold in front of our eyes. And the stupidity of the intellectuals is mind-boggling. Please, people, stop, think, and act only when you have the information that's really needed.